Harbinder Singh Sewak has always burned with ideas on how to change the world. Born in Malaysia to a prominent family of engineers, he immigrated to Canada in his early 20s. After surviving 2 Toronto winters, Harbinder relocated to Vancouver. It was the early 1990s, and the social fabric of the west coast of Canada was rapidly changing due to the large influx of immigrants from Asia. Vancouver was beginning its new journey as an emerging Pacific Rim city. Harbinder recognized this transition and launched his first newspaper. That publication evolved into the Asian Pacific Post. Published in English, the newspaper received critical acclaim. In 2003, it created history by becoming the first ethnic newspaper in British Columbia to win a Jack Webster Award for journalism, an honor typically reserved for mainstream Canadian dailies and broadcasters. Shortly after, the Post again broke new ground by becoming the first ethnic publication to place news boxes in the heart of Vancouver's downtown core. The paper regularly broke stories first ahead of mainstream dailies, and in short time Harbinder launched 2 more newspapers, this time for Vancouver's growing Indian and Filipino communities. He went on to forge a distribution and editorial partnership with the city's 2 largest and oldest daily newspapers, the Vancouver Sun and the Province. In 2008, Harbinder's South Asian Post newspaper was recognized for its trailblazing journalism and became the first Indian newspaper in British Columbia to win a Jack Webster Award, this time for its story, An Innocent Man. This was the tragic tale of Jessie Sidhu from Maple Ridge, a young woman from British Columbia who was murdered by her family for falling in love with Mithu, a man from India whom her mother and uncle did not accept. The Asian Pacific Post was the first publication to break this story in Vancouver. Eventually, Harbinder intervened on behalf of Mithu, hiring a lawyer in India to free him from jail after he was imprisoned on false charges by Jessie's uncle. In 2011, he published a book about the tragic tale entitled Justice for Jassie. The case, which was kept alive in Canadian media for over a decade by Harbinder's relentless pursuit, entered a new phase in 2012 when Jassie's uncle and mother were finally arrested, 12 years after their daughter's murder. When not breaking news stories, Harbinder has worked at forging new community relationships. This is exemplified when in November 2011, BC's largest Sikh temple commemorated Remembrance Day and hosted the Canadian military for the first time on its grounds. Harbinder mediated this new relationship and organized the ceremony in which Canada's fallen soldiers and current armed forces were honored in a Sikh prayer ceremony. Nurturing this relationship, Harbinder organized a participation of the armed forces in the annual Surrey Khalsa Day parade in April. Canadian soldiers marched in the procession alongside the 200,000 plus participants attending the largest Nagar Kirtan held outside of India. This relationship with the military has, however, surpassed ceremonial formalities. Harbinder's behind-the-scenes work was directed toward creating an institutional legacy that would benefit future generations. His grassroots organizing has recently led to the formation of the first ever Sikh Cadet Corps in Canadian history. In June of this year, the 3300 British Columbia Regiment of the Royal Canadian Army Cadet Corps held its inaugural annual review. Proud parents watched their children perform drills in full military and turban uniforms. As awards were handed out for Best Dressed and Most Outstanding Cadet, Harbinder was asked for his thoughts on the evening. To see the kids and parents glowing with pride confirmed all our hard work, he stated, encapsulating his belief in the Sikh philosophy of Sarbat Di Pala. Our service must always be in the benefit of all humanity.